And welcome to the Richard Villa podcast. I'm so excited today. My guest today is somebody I met at a Chuck E. Cheese that really got my attention as because I'm like, I want to talk to somebody. Shit, this is boring. And I saw Joe there, and I was like, Joe. Joe's Joe Luna's. I guess what would be father-in-law that to be, yeah, there you go, something like that. But Joe Luna, the comedian Joe Luna. So this is his father-in-law to be that I got introduced to. He's a Vietnam vet, Chicano to the bone. He's here today, and I wanted him to come on here and tell us these stories. So why don't we bring on Joe Talavera? A big round of applause to Joe Talavera, Vietnam vet. Purple Heart.
Thank you.
God, wow. Thank you for being here, Joe.
It's
Thank
an
you.
honor.
Thank you. Honor to see you here. Joe, so tell me, ¿de dónde viene Joe? Tell me, where do you come from, Joe?
Come from?
Yeah, like, where do you come from? What city? Or where were you born?
I was born in El Paso,
In
Texas.
El Paso, Texas. To American parents?
Yeah. No, when my dad was, well, you could say American because he went in the Navy.
He went in the Navy.
Yeah,
So
he
he
was
was
in the
born in
Navy.
Mexico and then he became a citizen.
Uh-huh. Well, he was born in the United States.
Okay.
That's when my grandfather was, like I said, he was fighting with Pancho Villa.
Uh-huh.
And when
That's
they robbed the
right.
First
So see,
National
this is
Bank-
where we got because he's.
history.
Oh, yeah,
Full
so
of history.
I want to know what's going on here because he said Villa, you're related to Pancho Villa, and I was like, whoa, no, but what do you know about Pancho Villa? He says, oh, my grandfather. So your grandfather fought with Pancho Villa,
He was a scout for Pancho Villa.
a scout. So what was a scout for Pancho Villa back then?
Just to scout where all the enemy were and everything came and reported back.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
And but was there a reason why they picked your grandfather to be the scout?
No, he was just.
He wasn't fast. He wasn't
Because he was
faster
an
than the
Indian.
other. Huh?
He was an Indian. He was a Yaqui Indian.
Your grandfather was a Yaqui Indian.
Yaqui
He can.
Indian.
Was it because he could translate, or
Yeah.
was it because of the language?
Uh-huh.
You can translate with them.
Well, with the natives and everything.
Ah,
with
see.
Pancho Villa, because he was hiding too much in the hills.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So,
So the natives would be up there, and so your grandfather could communicate with the
Yeah.
natives and talk their
Yeah.
language and say,
then when Pancho Villa decided to rob the First National Bank in El Paso, that's when my grandmother and my grandfather decided to go AWOL.
"Oh, really?"
Yeah, and they stayed
In
in
El Paso. So your
they
grandfather and
collect-
Pancho Villa were all in cahoots to rob a bank in El Paso,
Yeah, no. Well, Pancho Villa went to rob the bank.
Uh-huh.
So,
and your dad said, "Hey, I'll stay here."
yeah.
I mean, your grandfather. Your
yeah.
grandfather said, "I'm gonna stay here. You guys
Yeah.
go on."
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. He decided
Oh, that's
to
fun.
stay.
That's bananas.
And there were 14 other members, and that's where they bought that a piece of land that they call a smelter town.
Smelter Town.
Yeah, they bought each other that little piece of property. They had houses put,
Uh-huh.
and my grandfather put his house and everything.
Okay, so they said, "This is our piece of land. This is
Yeah,
where we're
they
gonna
all put
retire."
their money together and they bought.
The huge piece of land.
Yeah.
Okay. So grandfather's now established in El Paso, Texas.
Uh-huh.
Leaves Pancho Villa. He's had enough of the Mexican Revolution, and now he's there to set his seeds. Your father is born.
Yeah.
He goes to the Navy.
Yeah.
Why does he go to the Navy?
Yeah. He just wanted to serve his country.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he told me. So.
Only
Because,
reason to do it, right?
Now, did he fight in a war? Your grandfather? I mean, your father?
Yeah, in World War II.
He fought in World War II
Yeah,
against
he
the
was
Germans.
a frogman.
What's a frogman?
It's called the Demolition Underwater Team.
Oh wow.
Wow.
What is their job?
Their job was to go underwater. At the time, but they were from the way my dad told me, they didn't wear oxygen tanks, so they had to go with one breath down,
Oh, wow.
and they had to check where the ships would come in nearby the shore, and they had spikes to stop the ships.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So he had to draw, instead of take pictures, they had to draw them
Oh wow.
and bring up and then pass them. And then they knew where the
No, you're good.
They knew where the and then they knew where the spikes were.
The spikes were on the ship, so they wouldn't go.
Oh wow, that's a big job.
So they went and explode them and everything. So
Oh wow! So if you messed up in that drawing, if that drawing wasn't right where
Accurate,
you were supposed to have it,
yeah,
and the boat went over, you're done.
yeah,
Wow.
So your dad fights in World War II, comes back,
mm-hmm.
right? Marries your mom.
Yeah.
Mom and now your mom's Mexicana.
Es mexicana.
De Juárez.
En Juárez.
Es de Chihuahua.
De
Oh, de
Chihuahua,
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. That's not true.
Rosales, Chihuahua.
And where did they meet?
Huh?
Where did they meet?
They, my dad was, the way I heard it, that they met at the theater.
The
Oh,
theater.
okay.
Yeah, the theater.
And your dad said, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm a frogman."
No, he just,
No,
no, he was in
I want to get froggy. He was in his
Froggy
uniform.
Uh-huh.
He was.
Yeah,
Oh,
when
come
he met
on.
my
Of
mom.
Oh,
course,
that's que no
wow.
se vale, carnal. Come on, he was looking handsome with his nice
Got a
uniform.
nice
his
uniform on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
serving
Little-
the country, of course.
little sailor hat. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. So your mom fell in love with the uniform and said, "De aquí soy.
Yeah.
This is it."
Yeah, and then she had an aunt that owned a store in El Paso,
Mm-hmm.
so she was working there too with my aunt. So
Oh, so they had time to see each other and say, "Okay,
yeah,
fall in love, have kids. You're born and raised in El Paso.
yeah, I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. How many more after you?
We were five.
5 total.
Uh,
Me too. I have
Three
five
boys
siblings.
and two girls.
Oh no, all boys.
girls.
All boys and me.
Yeah.
Okay, so now high school. How was high school? How was it back then? What year were you in high school, Joe?
In high school was in the 60s.
In the 60s?
In the 60s, you were in high school,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
So how was it back then in El Paso when you were in high school, when you're 15, 16 years old? Were you proud to be Mexican? Was that something you even brought up?
Yeah.
Were there a lot?
My dad taught us how to be,
Yeah.
well,
The culture.
and that we had to learn to be with Americans and
With
Yeah,
Latino
Mexicanos.
Mexicans.
Was there a lot of different races where you went to school?
oh yeah,
Like
we
mixed-
had
mixed-
blacks and we had whites.
All
Yeah.
combined.
We had
Mexicanos.
fights. Too.
You had fights?
Yeah.
Would you have racial fights back then in the 60s?
Oh no, it was only gang fights.
Oh, you had
Oh.
gang fights? That's
Yeah.
right, because you started a gang, right?
Was it like
Or who started-
Pachuco?
No, what was the name of your gang? What was your name of your gang?
Pachuco's is way.
No, that was-
before I'm-
That was your grandfather.
Yeah.
That
There
was
in the
grandfather,
30s, in the 30s, and yeah,
That's when
1930s.
Suit was
Suits.
going around.
Yeah, we're talking about the way
60s.
before the World
So
War II.
you guys started pandillas.
Huh?
Las pandillas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the gangs,
Una
again,
pandilla.
una pandilla. So you had a gang, right? You started
Yeah,
a gang.
it was called the Purple Gang.
The Purple Gang.
Purple
Yeah.
gang.
Fuck yeah!
Did you
what
guys
a-
wear
we used
purple?
To put, well, we used to call stuff like that.
Did you wear purple?
No.
Oh, okay. That was just what you guys.
Just the
Why?
name.
Why that? Why was it?
just
You guys
the
gonna make
name that
everybody
we-
purple?
Yeah.
Not Purple
No,
Street,
yeah.
nothing.
Oh, when we had fights, we didn't carry guns or nothing. We just
A puño.
we met someplace.
Yeah, but you guys didn't sell coke either, right?
Huh?
You didn't sell cocaine back then,
No.
and you didn't sell weed back then, right?
Yeah.
It was more just you would steal or
Tequila or
Okay.
Ripple.
or what?
Ripple.
Ripple was Ripple.
That wine.
Oh, okay, like the cheap
And beer,
nitrate.
yeah,
Yeah,
cheap.
okay. But as a gang, what was the purpose of the gang? If you weren't, because the purpose of a gang now is to sell drugs and
Yeah.
control territory and make sure you can keep
No, it
selling
was
drugs.
our territory. So
Okay, I understand that, but what was the purpose? Okay, it's our territory, but just hey, don't come through here.
yeah.
This is our town.
But
Yeah.
nobody made
Okay.
money.
No, nobody made money.
It wasn't about money. It was more about protecting each other, right? It was about
You don't want any
hey,
intruders there.
he's one of the guys from the neighborhood. Nobody should mess with
Yeah.
him, and he's not alone.
Or
It was-
or we went to a party. There was
A couple of other guys
yeah,
from
the
another
guys
neighborhood.
from a different gang, and
So Joe, you wouldn't let him touch your ladies, right? You wouldn't let him talk to your ladies, right?
no.
See, that's what it's all about.
Respectful, bro. But then the drugs come in, and it messes up what this whole gang thing was about.
But the gang that we used to fight. Yeah, we used to fight, but not include innocent people.
You would
We
fight
were
each other.
We would say, "Hey, we made up in the desert,
So it was a nice game.
whatever. We'll beat, and everybody will agree."
Okay.
And you would duke it out, and then you would all walk away and say, "Fuck it,
whoever
we won
went
or
to
we
the
lost."
hospital went to the hospital.
Exactly,
Bro,
but that's
the
fair.
way, that was fair. Now it's not fair, right?
No.
No, they call it fight clubs now, but instead of a gang. but
So
you know,
did you guys ever fight about? Did any time during that time did anybody come that wasn't from your area, like an outsider, like a black person, a white person, like that was from your area that you're like, hey?
Oh yeah.
And what happened when those guys came in? What did you guys tell them? Like,
we had friends, black friends that come in, and because they were our friends from school and everything, and then white friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when we went to their location where
they
the
live,
whites, I'm sorry to say, the whites were more educated, more educated, and more. They were at the Richie place, so.
Oh, okay. They had it made already.
Yeah, at that time, to us.
For you.
I asked you a question. I said, when you were a kid, was there still segregation? Because you're living in America.
Yeah.
And you said yes. And said, did you ever drink from the white water fountain?
Oh yeah.
But you're colored.
We're brown.
I didn't care.
And you didn't care?
No, if I had to get in a fight to get a drink of water from
Really?
a place, I would do it.
They didn't mind that you drank the water?
Yeah, they did.
Did they realize, wait?
Yeah.
Did you ever get somebody to, hey, what the hell? That's not your drinking water fountain. That's not your water fountain.
They did it twice, but I didn't listen.
You didn't listen?
Oh, nice. He was tough.
Because my dad was the one that taught us, hey, you live in a free country. I fought for this country, and you deserve
to drink whatever water fountain
you want.
Yes, I agree.
Great.
I agree. If your dad fought for this country, if he was involved in World War II, he sacrificed shit. That's your water fountain too. I agree.
That's the whole point.
I think after World War II, a lot of Americans started thinking differently in that sense because they saw the contribution that Latinos and blacks brought to the table and said, it's so disgraceful that a vet that comes back from World War II and we're going to treat him this way, he can't drink from that water fountain.
No.
So
we got mistreated, my dad got mistreated, but he had to tough it out.
Yeah, back then, because your dad actually, Rocio, was telling me that when he used to come back in the 60s to come work out here in the U.S., they weren't allowed to walk on the same sidewalk as white people.
No.
I mean, if you're walking, you would go to the street so white people can walk by.
Mm-hmm.
But in El Paso, there were too many Mexicans.
Yes.
Coming from Mexico.
Yes.
And everything. And so we didn't have that much.
There was more. You think they were more empathetic because they knew they were your neighbors and you saw them every day, and you engaged with them so much that you didn't see as much racism.
Yeah.
And then they grew up together. So
yeah.
you have that.
Yeah. So
closeness.
it was, it's across the border.
Mm-hmm.
My mom didn't live. My mom lived about 10 minutes away from the border.
Yeah.
And my aunt lived 5 minutes away from the border, where they called El Chamizal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
That's the border of Mexico, because Mexico was complaining that Texas had taken more from El Paso, so they call it El Chamizal. So they had to give all those parts back to Mexico.
Yeah.
So it missed my aunt's house, so that where they put the
literally
the fence of Mexico.
We've been fighting with fences all this time.
Yeah, but look at this. His aunt's like, okay, where the hell's this fence gonna go? Where am I gonna land? That is nerve-wracking, bro.
Oh,
Am I Mexican or
American or Mexican?
If they decide to do 2 more feet that way, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's, your benefit right there.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen
Well,
to you?
to tell the truth, when my grandfather died, he never became an American citizen.
Mm-hmm.
He never had a passport.
Uh-huh.
My grandmother, the same way.
But, they were fighting for a rebel called Pancho Villa. I'm pretty sure they didn't want to leave any paper trail, just in case family came back. Yeah. Now, did your grandfather ever tell you stories about Pancho Villa and how ruthless he was? No, he never talked about those times?
No. Yeah, the only thing when he used to joke with my grandmother, he used to tell us, when I was fighting, she would cook my dinner, and And then she would go over there and get my rifle, and then I would come and eat my tortillas and beans. So there was a joke with them all the time.
Like it was just like, get my rifle, I'm going to work. I'm going to go kill
There you go.
people. Wow. That's gangster.
No,
And you go tell jokes.
What? Yeah, exactly, right? So your grandmother would be like, so what does your husband do? Oh, yeah, he's a rebel. He fights with Pancho Villa. Oh, my God. It must be so
wow.
fancy.
So entertaining.
So,
Daring.
how do you decide? Because look, your last name's Talavera. You very strong. I don't know, like Calavera. Like
it's a
that.
very powerful name.
But every generation somehow fought in one war or another. Like your grandfather fought with Villa. Your father fought in the World War II. You now go to Vietnam.
Yeah.
How do you leave your gang? You leave your neighborhood in El Paso and go?
Well, my dad gave me an ultimatum.
Why did he give you the ultimatum?
Oh.
Because, in other words, he was supporting me, right?
Huh?
So
he was kind of supporting me.
he was
Of
still
course,
there.
but you're still a kid. You're
Yeah.
17
Well,
years old,
that's
right? Or
right.
how old were
Yeah,
you?
but he told me, leave the gang, or you can, the door is out there.
Okay, so
Let the
either you
gang
choose your gang
feed
or you go.
clothe you,
So
give you the
yeah,
money, whatever.
yeah,
Because
and you're
I'm
over
not
there
gonna
fucking
do it.
around with your friends.
He wanted you to grow up.
Yeah, so I went to my gang and told me,
That's it.
it's time for me to leave the gang, and that's when the gang leader, now that he's a detective in El Paso.
Well, of course, he knows where the
Hold on,
gangs
They
were.
didn't jump you out, Joe? They didn't jump you out?
No,
Did they
I had
jump
to
you
walk
in?
the line.
No,
You walked the
You
line?
got to walk the line.
Yeah,
What's
walk the line?
line?
Is I had to. They're gonna beat the crap out of me.
Oh,
to get out.
if you wanted to
okay,
get
if you
out.
wanna get
And
out,
from
so-
this day on, they had a saying said that I couldn't talk to them, I couldn't see them. If they saw me in the street, I
You were
couldn't say
shunned.
hi or nothing to them, and they still do it.
You were
I
dead
see
to them.
friends
Oh,
who
really?
were in
Still?
the gang, old guys that were in the gang.
They
They
don't
won't
talk
talk
to
to
you.
And,
You're dead to them now.
Oh,
How
that's
dare
fucked
you
up,
go
Joe.
fight for your country?
yeah, so
No, but still, you're leaving the gang, homie.
Yeah, but now
You're
you're gonna
leaving
go fight
the
for all the
gang.
neighborhoods.
Man, that's Mexicans holding grudges forever. Fuck, let
I
it
know,
go.
let it go, man.
Hey, you
But
know that
was our
puto.
gang
You want to go fight
tradition.
for our freedom, but that doesn't count. He
Yeah,
left
that
us.
was
Actually,
That was our gang tradition that we had.
It was a gang tradition.
Vietnam didn't get the glorification that World War II did.
Right.
Did it?
Oh, no.
And it was like 20 years, no?
What?
Vietnam.
No, it wasn't 20 years, babe. Look it up.
I did.
20 years? Long?
Yes.
The war
I
lasted
mean,
20? It started
the
when
full war was about 20 years.
Really, Joe?
It was never declared war.
But
It was never declared a war.
right.
It
Wow.
was only protecting the.
See, it started
the
in
farmers over there.
1955 and ended in 1975.
Wow. It's ridiculous. We've had this war for more than 20 years with the
So-
Middle East.
Eh.
We've been at war with them since the 89.
Right.
Since 89, since the first Bush. Since the first
That's
Bush.
the first push, yes.
We've been in Iraq, Afghanistan. Wow. So it's
So crazy.
this is our Vietnam, but we didn't get, we weren't getting drafted.
No, not like back then. Not
Like back in the day. So
So tell us what happened. How did the whole thing go down? How did you finally leave or
Well, I walked the line. They beat the crap out of me, but I beat my best friend up first.
Oh.
I ran straight to the line and I
you didn't
got
let
him
yourself?
yeah, and then I thought I had to protect myself. I turned into a little ball, and they kicked me. They sent me to the hospital for what? 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
Well, good thing they were your
A
friends.
couple of broken ribs.
yeah.
Jeez.
Sure. Yeah.
But hey,
Okay.
I made it.
So you're
You
out of the
made it.
gang now.
Yeah.
You're no longer, well, you are purple, but you're no longer part of the purple gang.
Not that kind of purple.
Yeah,
no,
that-
he's
not
a
that kind of
better
purple.
kind of purple.
Yes. So
Kind
you
of.
get out of the hospital, and then what happened? How did you end up enrolling with the Marines?
Oh, my dad told me, because I told him that I didn't want to go to school anymore, which I used to play hooky a lot. So,
What was the point, right?
yeah.
School's not for
Yeah.
everybody, but okay.
So I was in that stage. I didn't really care, you know. I was
Yeah,
a young
you were
guy.
a young
so,
kid.
Hey, I'm looking for a job. I'm not.
Now you want to make some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got beat up. Fuck.
Caramba.
you got bills to pay.
2 weeks later, huh? Out of the hospital.
Yeah, that's a lot of bills to pay. So
My dad told me, hey, if you're not gonna do that, just be laying around, going here and there, just getting yourself in trouble. Nah. So early in the morning, around 6 o'clock in the morning, he took me to the Marine Corps.
he did.
Yeah, and he signed the paper. He goes, "Give me a, I give you a boy, give me a man."
Oh,
Wow.
Les doy un.
Oh, I got
un
the
niño.
chills.
de mi nombre.
I got the
Nombre.
chills.
Wow, what if at that moment he goes, I'm looking at what we got to work with. Nope, can't do it. He says, espérate, because Joe, you were telling, no, Joe was a small statured man, right?
He was
you
very
were
small, right?
You were very skinny. You told me you were very little.
How tall were you, and how much did you weigh?
I weigh 100 pounds.
See?
100, even. And how tall were you?
I was 5 feet.
5 feet.
5 feet. So
100 pounds.
yeah, so they were gonna toss him over the enemy line.
They were gonna shoot him in a cannonball.
They were gonna shoot him as a can. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm pretty sure the Marines were like, fuck, we got a lot to work with here.
Oh, we gotta feed him some protein, give him some meat.
But the Marines made you a man, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a man right now. You're a man.
Yeah.
Though you talk like a man, you're a man. But I can imagine back then you being so young and so little.
Yeah. Well, there were a lot of young guys.
Yeah, there was a lot of young.
What used to get me kind of mad is when I came out of from Vietnam and I started working, people start saying that the guys from the army, any kind of forces, they were only 60-year-olds wearing diapers. And I used to get mad. And I go, diapers? Where? Well, how come we had to do your job while you're enjoying stuff over here?
You were stuck out there.
So we could be saving you guys so you can have the good stuff over here, and we don't.
Yeah.
And you tell us that we're wearing diapers.
Listen, this is what bothers me the most. You knew you were going to get drafted regardless.
Yeah.
So you volunteered. You said, hey, it's a matter of time.
At the same time.
Listen, you fit the criteria back then. It was you're Mexican, you're poor, fucking perfect. Doesn't go to school, is in a gang. This is the kind of kid we're going to recruit. If you didn't get recruited, but if you did something and the judge saw you that you were fucking up and you were part of a gang, he would literally send you to Vietnam. That was it. I know plenty of people that got sent because they got in trouble with the law and they were sent. So Latinos and blacks were the first ones being sent out there. So you didn't have a choice. I knew eventually they were going to come to you and tell you, you're going. Right. So the fact that you were forced by your country should give you the respect that you deserve, because you came back and said, I had no choice. My country told me I have to go. That's it. And if your country calls and you have to service it, regardless of what it is, you have to do it. And I commend you for that. You had to go, then you wouldn't. And you were going to go anyway. So the fact that you come back and they blame you for it or try to tell you that, oh, you did. Bitch, I didn't want to go. When the I didn't want to fucking fight.
So still they tell me, you lost the war.
You lost war?
I go, I didn't lost the war. You know, I lost friends over there. But I didn't lost the war. It was not even declared a war. I would say it was declared a war. Then you can tell me that I lost the war.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Let's go back. You are now enrolled in the Marines. You're how old?
I was at the time 17.
17 years old. 17. You're going into the Marines. How was boot camp?
Ooh.
Yes. And you being Mexicano and you being Mexicano. Yeah.
How was that?
You being a Mexican in boot camp in Vietnam.
We were about, how many Mexicans were there? There were 9.
9 Mexicans. See, I know he would know that number. You know why? Because we do that. We go to any place or any organization or any team or anything, and you go, where are the ones that look like me? And you found 9 of them. Well, you found 8 that look like you.
They had blacks, they had whites.
So what was the deal in boot camp? How was those 3 months?
Those 3 months was hell.
Hell? Yeah. Did you cry a lot, Joe?
Did you cry?
A lot? Oh, no.
Did you hear crying at night?
See that?
Yeah.
At night you would hear the cries?
Yeah, my buddies, they wanted to go home and
sniffles?
Everything.
Oh.
You did.
So, in other words, my dad never taught us how to cry.
Yeah.
Wow.
You think that would have helped?
We had to hold it in, or
Oh wow. Was that hard for you not knowing how to cry? You think that would have
no?
helped maybe?
My dad was a kind of macho type.
Uh-huh.
He goes, if you cry, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you.
More.
And so we had to.
Hold it
Hold
in.
it in. Learn how to.
So the drill instructor, you were like, I don't give a shit. You know what I get at home. At least you're not hitting me in the face. You're okay.
You kind of had a little bit of
a little hard,
home.
a little boot camp at home before you got to boot camp. Oh my dad used to beat the shit out of me.
So then boot camp's over, and
So yeah, boot camp's over. What happened? But how was it though? What did they treat you any different in boot camp when you were in Mexico? Everybody got treated like shit.
Everybody got treated the same because the Marine Corps is kind of today's Marines are different than the old days of the Marines.
Okay, tell me
The old
why.
days of the Marines were tougher. You had to go through a lot of stuff, a lot of insults, a lot of what you had to do. You know.
Did they ever go, you fucking spick? You
Yeah,
motherfucking spick.
Oh, Mexican.
Yeah, you fucking Mexican bean piece of
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Did they say stuff like that?
Yeah.
You know, you can't say that in the
No.
Marines now. You can't say that because you'll hurt their feelings.
And the drill instructor used to say a lot of stuff like that, and we had to take it.
Yeah. Could you go to your commanding officer and say, excuse me, the drill instructor called me a spick?
That was one thing.
No? Oh, you
Then
could.
you get in trouble.
Oh, then you get in trouble.
No,
Oh,
you get in trouble.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, for going and talking crap about your
Snitch. Wow. So you're saying that that's not how the Marines are
Gotta
now?
man up.
Not now.
Not now?
No.
Now, if they start crying the way because my nephew, he was in the Marine Corps for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Kuwait, and where they were fighting the Desert Storm, and he went 5 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
That, he fought.
And he said
he's
it's
the only
different?
Talavera that
That continued the
that
tradition.
went 5 times.
Wow.
So what were the differences that he said? This is the that you can't tell them anything anymore. Their feelings get hurt.
Oh, yeah, you get hurt.
Oh
They
have a
he's
complaint
the-
center.
if one of the recruits complained, nothing happens. Just then the mother gets involved.
Oh, the mother would show up and say, "My son
well,
sent
not
me."
show up, but
Oh.
talk to the Congress.
Uh-huh.
They start doing
Investigating.
Now the even when you enlist, I guess the way my nephew was saying, enlist, they give you a card that they can't tell you nothing bad or whatever because there goes the card.
Oh my God. Okay, so if I go into the Marines right now and I feel disrespected in any way, shape, or form, I can pull out my card. Do I need to speak to somebody? And they have to
Really?
grab that card and take it to their superior
Yeah.
officer and say,
Yeah.
I need a meeting.
Yeah, now they baby them more.
Oh,
And,
wow.
when I was there.
Wow.
That
Joe,
is
I'm
new. I
sorry
did not
you're
know.
alive to see these days. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, so
Oh, wow.
out of boot camp, you're out. How do they give you your job? Did you get to pick it, or they
no, I became a grunt. What they call a grunt.
grunt military? You're gonna hit the boots.
Infantry.
Infantry, yeah.
Yeah. So, and at the time, I wasn't making too much money with them with being a grunt. So there was an opening for tunnel rats.
Tunnel rats?
Yeah, tunnel.
Oh,
rats.
tunnel rats.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
There was an opening, so
You're like,
so
I'm the
me
right
and my
size.
best friend, well, me and my best friend goes, hey, more money, I go, yeah, let's go for it. He goes, okay. We went to our captain and we said, hey, we went for the opening for tunnel rats. And they explained to us, what might happen, right? I'm gonna put you in training, but you know what's gonna happen when you're in those tunnels. There might be a cave in, and that's your grave.
Oh wow.
And then no,
That didn't
we're
scare
not
you,
gonna-
Joe?
huh?
That didn't scare you?
Yeah,
Joe don't
kinda.
care, man. Joe's a fucking Marine.
Thanks,
Joe don't fuck
I
around.
was scared.
You're bandito.
Come on, look at him.
And
No. He said, "Is it a quarter or more? Fuck it, I'm in."
Wow.
How much was the raise, by the way? You went from making lunch for the boys to now fucking tunneling through these tunnels in Vietnam underneath the ground
Yeah.
with no OSHA, by the way, regulations. These fucking tunnels are dug with one spoon. So
So
now,
sometimes they were the tunnels that you could walk.
did you ever
Sometimes
walk
they
into
were
a tunnel and
kinda-
say, "Wow, this is nice. Ooh, good job."
And then sometimes there were tunnels that you had to crawl in. Like one time we went on a tunnel and I went in first, and my best friend went in second. And while I was crawling, going in, and he grabbed my foot and I started going, Martinez, I hope it's you because I'm gonna turn around and start shooting. He goes, no, it's me.
Fucking Martinez, this is not the time to play, motherfucker.
Don't play right now.
Martinez, behave. Fucking Martinez. Is he still
Wow.
alive? Is Martinez still alive?
No.
No, I wish he was. I wanted to talk to Martinez.
Oh.
You didn't lose him there, did you?
Huh?
Did you lose him there?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, what do you mind if we ask how? What was the day?
Kinda.
Oh, I'm
That's a
sorry.
hard one for you.
It's a hard one, Joe.
Kinda hard.
It's kind of hard. All right. Well, okay. Tough moments because you have a really tough job right there, Joe. They go, Joe,
Yeah.
go in there. You're
Yeah.
like, fuck, why me? Like, you're the first one that the Vietcong is gonna see you.
What? We were 15 tunnel rats they could choose, and or they would send to a different companies.
Yeah.
And our captain would tell us, if you go into the tunnels, we need to get only information.
Okay. So
You
your
know,
job was just to
yeah,
get information.
information and come back.
Okay.
So that was the only thing that we had to do.
Yeah, but coming in there, there's somebody there, waiting and protecting that fucking
Oh, yeah.
information. Okay,
Everything
so
you never
don't
know.
tell me that it
You
was just
never
like
know.
walking into an office going, "Hey guys, I'm here for the copies."
No, we never know.
You never
we could have
knew.
died right there too.
Yeah, so
we were lucky. Yeah,
You were
lucky.
head first. Do you understand? Like that's
Yeah.
what makes it so scary for me. Like they said, okay,
Oh.
Talavera, you're going in first, and then you're like, okay, you don't know what's on the other side of that tunnel.
One time we went to a tunnel that was going down
Mhm.
that way,
Mm-hmm.
and my best friend went down first, and the ropes.
Uh-huh.
And well, the captain was telling me we need information. We need what's down there and any kind of information you could grab. So I said, okay, sir. So I went down. I was climbing down, and Martinez was coming up right quick up. He goes, "What the hell are you going?" He goes, "No, but look down there." I go, "Where? Down there?" I go, "Oh, shit, nope."
What was it?
Bunch of snakes. They had put a bunch of snakes
Oh.
to protect that tunnel.
Heck no.
Wow.
So we came up and we told our captain, and our captain goes, "Oh, that's easy." He threw some gas cans in it. So
And
Oh,
they
okay.
scattered.
gas bombs in it.
How
grenades and-
ingenious, though. How ingenious. The Vietcong, right?
Yeah.
There's a Vietcong that would put these traps, booby traps,
Yeah.
so they know if you're
Yeah.
going to dig in there, you're going to get bit by a snake. Martin's like,
so-
hey, get the hell out.
So-
Oh, wow.
So you
but
throw the gas and they
after they
scatter.
did that, we had to go real careful.
What is the funniest thing that happened in Vietnam? There were funny moments.
Funny moments?
Yeah, funny moments,
There were
crazy
funny-
shit. Even if they're disgusting
Like, or
moments.
pranks.
Or pranks that
You
you
guys
would pull
prank
on
each
each
other?
other.
We never had that much, me and Martinez.
No?
We were always drunk.
We were always drunk?
Just
Like,
Yeah.
where do you get drunk? Did you get days off? And
Oh
then
yeah,
say,
we
go
went,
hammer?
well,
would you guys
when we went on a mission, it was a 2-week mission.
Mhm.
We'd come back to the rear, what they call the rear.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they had a place that you could buy beer, you could buy, anything.
But it was from the
cigarettes.
military base.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
But you
And-
couldn't go outside of the military base?
No. And, well, yeah, you could go to Saigon.
Saigon. And in Saigon?
That was dangerous. You want to get killed.
Did you ever go to Saigon?
Because you know what
Yeah,
Vietcom
there were
were
rebels there.
dressed, or
Yeah.
MVA were around, whatever.
Who's MVA?
MVA was North Vietnamese.
North Vietnamese.
They were dressed in uniforms. And the Viet Cong was dressed in pajamas, black pajamas.
Black pajamas. And they were both against you guys. And you don't know if you're going to run into them.
Yeah, we never knew.
Did you ever go?
To Saigon? Oh, yeah, we went.
Yeah? You ever go to the whorehouses out there, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
You did?
Yeah. He said, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're young. You're a young boy, right?
Yeah.
You're a young boy. This was before you met your wife, right?
Yeah.
Okay, way before you met her. So how did it work back then, Joe? You would show up and just...
Yeah, they had this, what we call monopoly money.
Monopoly money? Okay.
With the president's picture in it, and it was $5, $10. I used to have at the house, but I lost them. And
who would give you this money?
The government.
The government will give you funny money.
That's what we call that funny money.
Okay, and so you can use
only in the military.
And then they can cash it into the military, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so now you have your funny money and you would show up to the whorehouses, right?
Yeah, and we start spending it.
But how was the transaction? How would you ask
how much?
Whore?
You just want to know how much.
Well, no, I mean, the whole thing is like you don't just show up and go, where the bitches at? And they go, right here. Some money. Was it like a special, like madam that was like that, girls.
No.
A special.
No, just you saw a girl
bar.
you liked,
You told her, let's go. And she would go, okay.
Yeah, if she was not accompanied with somebody.
Yeah. So you a couple of dollars, and then you kept drinking there.
Drinking, and then we went to the room.
Yeah. No. After that, I know what happened, but I don't have to go into detail about that. I was just more the transaction part, But this is interesting. We never knew that they had funny money.
About how much? I want to know. How much did you pay for these ladies?
Well,
was it depending?
To them,
or dependent?
$3 was a lot of money for them.
Right.
And you had a pocket full of hundreds.
You had some.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of money. So to them, we were rich.
Yeah.
But
and young and in uniform
and in shape.
and in shape.
Yeah, so it's not a bad deal.
But they all called us GI Joes. That's all.
GI Joe.
GI Joe.
That's funny.
They all call you GI Joe. GI
Yeah.
Joe. Okay. Never got in trouble in Saigon.
No.
Never.
Lucky.
Lucky.
We were lucky.
Toughest situation you ever got yourself out of?
No.
Toughest situation you and your squad or platoon got out of? Where you
there
saw,
was one
wow, I
place
never
where
thought.
this new lieutenant came in, and he sends us to make an attack, and it was all open.
An open field.
Yeah, open field.
Nowhere to.
Oh, shit.
And at the time, the captain was having a meeting someplace else that he couldn't go to that mission. So he took us. Lucky, we could have hidden through the trees, but he wants us to make us like an assault attack. And a lot of them got killed, and I was one of the lucky ones that Martinez was the lucky ones that were,
Yeah, we were able to get away without.
Wow.
And so, if the what they call it, the Apache choppers, Willibirds, those are what they saved us.
They came in after you guys were under attack, and they
and
started.
They took us out. Yeah,
they would come.
And
in.
everybody was mad at that lieutenant.
So what happens to this lieutenant for making such a ridiculous call?
We were on guard duty. Me and Martinez were on guard duty. We saw a guy running. He threw a grenade into the lieutenant's hooch.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they call it, friendly fire.
Friendly. Oh my God.
Hold on.
No, did you just hear what he just said?
Yeah, I'm trying to
But you gotta understand, this lieutenant is responsible for a lot of their friends being killed for making such a ridiculous call.
Totally get that.
And he didn't show up to this thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, how conveniently you don't show up to this, and so friendly fire happens.
Yeah.
Somebody from that squad that from your own that lost a friend said, you know what?
He lost an arm and a leg.
Your lieutenant?
With
the explosion.
So he didn't die?
No.
Wow.
He was lucky.
If you could call it that, yeah. I mean.
Wow.
And if you get killed by one of your friends, whatever, in a fist fight or knife fight, so it's called friendly fire.
It was friendly fire, and you guys would protect each other and say, "Nope,
Yeah.
that was friendly fire, friendly fire, friendly fire." Wow.
Wow. That's interesting.
Wow, prison rules do
Learning.
apply. Wow, didn't know this.
I'm
Wow,
learning
Joe,
something.
this is crazy. So you got hurt, Joe. I see that purple heart on your
Yeah.
hat.
Yeah.
Purple-
What happened? I was getting water from the river from my canteen, and
Te dio
same
chorro.
time, and then all of a sudden, when I picked up my leg, I started walking. The snare went just. It was a snare, caught my neck of 7 feet up in the air.
Wait.
Wait.
The snare grabbed your leg, right?
No, my neck. It went through my whole body.
The snare?
Mm-hmm.
So it went,
Uh-huh.
and it grabbed your neck.
Yeah, but the good thing that saved me was I had a motor round for the motor people.
What is a
That-
motor? A what?
It's a motor round. It's a bomb.
A what?
Like a shell,
Like a shell?
big shell.
Okay.
I had one behind my. We were helping them,
Uh-huh.
and I had one in my pack,
Uh-huh.
around my pack, and that's what.
Saved
Grab-
you from the snare.
And I was just hanging like this.
Uh-huh.
So they thought I was dead, but when they went and cut me down, they were supposed to grab me.
But you
know.
just went down.
Yeah, I
hit the
went
floor.
down, and they got part by my head. There was a rock, and I hit my
And you
head in
hit
the
it.
rock.
You lost consciousness.
Yeah. And
Oh,
I
wow.
lost memory and everything.
Did you lose memory
Yeah.
Did you?
For a while.
for a
Oh,
while?
that's so scary.
Yeah, I
Wow.
was in the hospital for a long time, just trying to remember. They would show me pictures of my mom, my dad,
You're like, no.
and I would tell them,
Really?
I don't know the people.
See, this happened to my dad when he banged his head, and we didn't believe him. Like my dad. Sorry to interrupt your story, but my dad hit his head, and he said, "I don't remember you guys. Who are you?" And my mom said, "Well, I don't give a shit what you remember. Here, I'm gonna bring you up to date. You're my husband. Those are your kids. Tomorrow you got work. You got it? All right, good." That's it. And all of a sudden, magically, my dad remembered. Yeah, but with you, Joe, I
But
can.
that's not what happened to Joe.
No, Joe, absolutely not. But now I'm thinking maybe he really didn't remember. But my mom thought it was bullshit. But you, Joe, I believe you.
So
I mean,
was
that's
it
So
How long did it take you to start remembering your family, like
little
your
Yes.
by
immediate family?
little, I started getting headaches, real bad headaches,
oh wow. Okay.
and little by little start coming little by little until
Like a
till
cloud.
until well, not cloud, just headaches. There was
Oh, wow.
tremendous headache, like a real bad headache.
Do you still get
every
those
night.
headaches?
Oh no.
Mhm.
Not anymore.
Joe, so you get injured, you recover, right?
Uh-huh.
You recover after months, I'm imagining,
Yeah.
of rehab. Do you go back in?
Back to fight? No.
That's it.
they
Your
took
career as a
me-
Marine.
Yeah, well, that's
They
what
retired.
was before my best friend got killed. This one, that happened.
It was before,
Oh, the snare was that was
so
before
you
your
weren't
Martinez.
there for what happened to your friend.
Yeah, I was there when my best friend got killed.
But the snare,
No, the snare
Was
was
after.
After.
Oh,
After,
that was
yes.
I'm sorry
after.
to say, yeah.
that's okay. So it's
Okay.
after.
Yeah.
Okay, so after, but then now you're out. Now you're hurt too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's obviously passed away, but now you're hurt.
Yeah.
So now the Marines say thank you for your service. Go home.
They said they gave me a ticket home.
They gave you a ticket home.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
okay.
all.
Oh, wow.
Did you ever miss it afterwards?
At
Coming home?
first, yeah, I did.
What did you
I
miss
did.
the most about being out in Vietnam?
The fighting.
You missed the
You
fighting?
missed the
Yeah.
fighting.
Tell me about that, because that's interesting.
That is very
I would be so scared. Like I don't know. I think I would have
Well,
stabbed myself to come home.
It seemed like I didn't do that much.
You felt like you didn't do enough?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and like I left my friends you know,
Behind.
Oh,
behind,
okay.
and I wanted to go back, but they told me no, I couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're gonna hurt yourself or you're gonna hurt others because
Yeah.
physically you
You're
just couldn't do
already-
it anymore. But
yeah, that's true.
but I get the survivor guilt. That's what they call it,
Survivor's guilt.
survivor's guilt, that you want to go back
Mm.
for your friends. And it's funny because touring all these military bases, I would tell these young kids, would you ever join again? He says, yes, for my friends.
Right.
I would
I
go back
tried
in.
to join the Desert Storm.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was working for the school district, and I went I went to the recruiting center, and I said that I went to re-enlist. And they told me, if you re-enlist, you know, the only place that we can put you is at a rifle school. I had to teach them how to fire a rifle. And I go, I want to go fight. I don't want to
Go teach.
Right.
Because I'll get killed the same way with anybody that I'm teaching. I'm going to get killed.
Yeah, he's gonna mishandle that rifle or get shot. Yeah.
So they told me, yeah, you'll get your rank back as a sergeant and you know, and your same pay, whatever. But I go, nah.
No, I want to go
I'd
fight.
rather go fight than stay.
So you get out. What happens now, Joe? You leave.
Was it hard to adjust to life when you came back? How long? Like, how was it?
A lot of people kept on telling me, like I told you, that I lost the war. And I go, no, I didn't. You know, I got my best friends are over there. They didn't lose the war. They're still over there.
That is so sad to hear that, because you just fought and you came back and now you're hurt, and now people are negative instead of being appreciative.
Yeah.
That must have been very hard.
You know, and it was different because this war was televised, meaning a lot of the footage that was coming back here was being shown to people. That's why you notice that we don't see those footages anymore. They made that mistake for Vietnam, and that's why people kept saying, we see what you're doing. You guys are killing babies. You guys are doing all of this. You're like, no, you don't know the whole story. You're just getting and making your own assumptions by what you're seeing on TV. I'm not saying that didn't happen. Of course that happened. It's war. You understand? But there's a price to pay when you want to make a hot dog. You understand? Everybody wants to eat the fucking hot dog, but nobody wants to know what's in it.
Nobody wants to know.
Nobody know what it takes to make a hot dog.
I had a baby over there.
You had a baby in
mine,
Vietnam?
not mine.
What do you mean?
Wait. How did you have a baby? It's not like having a Chevy truck here.
They gave me a medal for that.
Oh,
you had a baby. Okay, how did this? How did
Well,
start
what
from the
happened,
beginning?
we went into a village,
Mm-hmm.
and they were attacked by the Viet Cong, and we went in there to investigate. And while we were investigating, we were poking with our bayonets the haystack. And me and Martinez heard a cry, and we went like that, and it was a baby crying, and the mother was laying next to the baby, was shot.
She was shot.
Yeah, so we couldn't take it back, and half of the people were dead.
Wow.
And we couldn't take it back, so my captain said, "Now you found it,
You
take care of it.
How old
Until
was
we
this
get
baby?
to the rear, and then
You can hand it
the
over
baby
to
was just a little baby."
Like a
Yeah.
newborn.
Okay, so
And
how
she
long?
she was a little
Boy,
girl.
girl,
So
little
little
girl.
girl. So how long did you take care of her, Joe?
For 1 month. She was in 2 firefights with us.
2 firefights. A baby girl was with you in 2 firefights, and you're carrying this baby with you in Vietnam.
I had to take off my flat jacket to protect her.
Uh-huh.
And my best friend took his flat jacket too.
So you guys
he
were
was
exposed,
we were exposed, but
the
You had
baby
to
was
take care of
covered.
your- that was your priority.
Yes. Wow, Joe.
Joe,
and
Joe, what did you feed this baby? I mean, this is a newborn.
At nighttime, me and Martinez would crawl out and we would steal T-shirts to make diapers,
Okay.
and then and he would. My duty was to go steal T-shirts. His
to
duty
clean.
was to go steal the milk, the cans of milk from the PX.
Yeah.
So
Oh
we
my
went,
gosh.
and I cut one of my gloves. I had to cut one of the fingers out and make it like a nipple,
Okay.
so I could feed her.
So small. Oh my God, I would never even think about that.
Yeah. Think about it. Okay, Joe. Wow, you're blowing me away right now. So you have a newborn. You gave her a name.
Yeah, her name was Cecilia.
Cecilia. I like it.
I'm gonna cry right now. That is so sweet.
That was my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
At
Before
the
your
time.
wife. Before your wife. Before your wife.
Yeah.
So little Cecilia,
Little Cecilia.
you guys would clothe her, you'd clean her little butt,
Yeah.
and you would give her all the love between you and Martino. So he was like he was really your best friend.
Of course, he keeps
But he
mentioning
was
my
like
best
a
friend.
relationship with him because he
Of
took
course,
care
they
of
had a purpose.
child.
They gave him purpose.
When we went to the rear, we had to give
That's
it to
beautiful.
the orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of hard because
You're attached.
I told my captain, well, how come they got dogs and they can keep them? Why can't we?
Wanted to
Keep
keep her.
Because it's a dangerous place to keep her. We're always on the go.
You had two
Bro,
wars.
You
had
wanted
two,
to keep her.
the-
Oh,
He was in two fights with the little girl with them.
I know. I just.
You can't. That's not where the little girl
Did you ever
belongs.
find out about her after?
Well,
Could you keep track of her?
I tried, and I heard that after we left Vietnam, the communists were killing the babies that were born American born.
Oh my God.
What do you mean they were born American born?
I don't really know if she got killed or whatever at the time we left.
She was almost better off with them. Like you don't know what the outcome
That
was.
was the Vietnamese, the North Vietnamese.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
Yeah, that when I
Can't
don't
imagine how you felt.
I never knew.
Well,
because what I
Cecilia,
heard-
Cecilia, I don't know where you're at, but if you're alive, I
Oh,
want you to know that Joe is
could you
here.
imagine?
Listen, I'm gonna ask other podcasters, please share this podcast. If we can find Cecilia, that would be a beautiful story. Because for her to survive two battles while they're with them and he find them, that's
Talavera
great.
Martinez.
Es que esa niña tenía que vivir. She had to live.
There
for
was
some
a reason you guys found her. I have a feel. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I would love to have a feel good ending for this.
Yeah, well, Cecilia, I don't know if you know that your name is Cecilia, or I don't even know if you know this story, but if you do, hopefully you could reach us and say, "Hey, what's up with Joe? Joe's here. He's at a Chuck E. Cheese."
With Sonic the Hedgehog.
With Sonic the Hedgehog.
She had my dog tag.
She had your dog tag?
Yeah, I
She
took
did.
one of my dog tags.
You left it on her.
Yeah. Okay, so if you still have that dog tag, you know we're talking about the right Joe.
Could you imagine?
Talavera. Wow.
Oh, we gotta find Cecilia.
Cecilia, let's find Cecilia.
Hashtag let's find Cecilia.
Wow. How was it in that war? I imagine that once you were there with your boys, with your brothers, and you guys were on the trenches, it was more like, did race play a part ever, or were you guys just all on the same team?
Well, a lot of them, like half of the whites, they wanted to be where the supply room was, giving up uniform, giving up the weapons.
They all wanted the nice cushy jobs that
nice, easy
they had
job.
leverage.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And some blacks too, they wanted the easy job, so they wanted to be in the kitchen, whatever.
Yeah.
But and other Mexicans too, they wanted some easy jobs, but some
We just didn't get them.
some didn't get them. So,
wow.
So we had to.
Any entertainers that went out there?
Oh yeah,
Bob Hope?
Bob Hope at the USA show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say hello? Take a picture?
Yeah, we took a picture.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I had a whole bunch of pictures, but I sold them to the Fort Bliss in El Paso.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because I had a whole bunch of took a bunch of pictures of dead guys, and I sold them to them so they could show them what might happen.
For history purposes.
You know.
Yeah. Wow, I've been to Fort Bliss. I performed at Fort Bliss.
Fort Bliss?
Yes. It's El Paso's military base. Yeah, I've been there many times.
That's where my dad and my mom are buried right now, Fort Bliss.
Fort Bliss? Okay. Yeah, well, I've been there.
Yeah, because, he was military.
Yeah.
So the VA put him in Fort Bliss.
Okay.
Like, if anything happens to me, I got my grave over there in Fort Bliss, but I'm not going to be over there.
No.
It's going to be an empty grave.
You're good, bro. You're good. We have more stories
So,
to
Joe,
talk
you
about.
got married, had kids. How many kids did you
Well, I first got married with my first wife.
Okay.
And it kind of, when I came from Nam, I was kind of disturbed and everything.
PTSD?
And,
did you have PTSD?
One girl, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Anna. And I came back and I married her by force because My mom caught us in bed.
Okay, wait.
Back in the day, it was different.
Back
You touched
in the
my
day,
girl,
yeah.
she's yours forever.
So you went
So-
sneaky peeky over there. You were over there wanky panky.
So you got caught in the act,
So
Joe.
she told me, "You're man enough. You'll marry my daughter." I go, "Hey, I'm man enough. I'll tell you one thing. I don't love your daughter. I'll marry her.
Yeah.
She can carry my last name, but I'm not gonna be too much around her." So,
Yeah, it's a force.
because
You can't force
I
somebody
told
to
her
do that.
straight out, I like women, so
Yeah.
so
I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna be out there, and so
well, we were married for 3 years, and she started calling me that I was crazy and all that.
You said,
so,
I know.
yeah, and so I went into the mountains in El Paso,
Mhm.
and I became a hermit.
You became a what?
A hermit.
You became a hermit?
Yeah.
You just like being under the dirt, don't you?
God damn.
What a
She
hermits
tunnel
do?
rat.
What did the hermits do?
Just survived. They're afraid of people. I was afraid of people.
You were afraid of people, Joe?
So you were just hiding.
But you're such a great storyteller, Joe.
Yeah.
You should be around people. You're a good guy, man. I
think
like
people
you.
like you, though.
The one that got me down was my cousin, because he went in Nam too.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the army, but he was in Nam too, and he went to my mom, and my mom thought, well, we haven't seen him. He's someplace wandering up in the desert.
How old were you when this was happening?
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 24.
24 years old, and you said, "Forget it. I'm dropping out of the."
No, what happened? We went to pay some bills with my mom, and all of a sudden, when you feel something in the back of it kind of stands up, and I turned around and I was gonna hit an old lady, and I go, oh boy.
Oh.
And that's when it broke the straw, and I said, no, Mom, I'm gonna.
I need to leave because I'm not okay in front of people. I'm not okay around people.
You had a feel.
Wow. Okay, but that's really how you dealt with it back then. It's not like you can go to the VA. Now you can.
Yeah.
Now you can. Now you go to the VA and
but they
take
give you a
you.
whole bunch of pills.
Yeah, but at least you're not swinging at people. You understand?
Right.
That's the beauty.
So did you take medication back then?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Did it help?
Eh,
A little?
no.
Not much?
Did weed help? Did
Huh?
you ever smoke weed for it?
No.
No.
No? How about
Okay.
now?
No.
Don't
No.
lie, Joe. Come on.
Come on,
Just a
Joe.
little
You
bit
don't
of weed.
blaze a little bit.
Wheat?
Just
Weed.
a weed.
Oh yeah.
Weed.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
smoke
yeah.
weed? You smoke
Smoking
weed?
numb a lot.
Oh, weed.
Yeah, weed. Mota.
Yeah,
You
la
smoke
mota.
mota?
Hierbabuena.
Hierbabuena. No sé, cola de caballo.
Yeah.
Caballo.
Yeah.
So
I used
that
to
helps?
smoke it over there.
Yeah?
A lot. Yeah.
You smoked it a lot in Vietnam?
No. Me
Nice.
and Martinez.
Why?
We used to have it all rolled up already.
Yeah.
Uh, we used to buy it over there, and for $10 they give you.
A whole pound of
Yeah,
this.
and we
Oh,
used to
wow.
carry it with
But you
us.
guys had
and-
money, too.
Yeah. You would roll it up and take
Yeah.
it into the jungle,
Yeah.
and you could just smoke weed.
Yeah.
And with
But
anybody?
then I stopped because all of a sudden everybody thought they were kind of Superman. Bullets wouldn't hurt them.
And they would get up and run. Ah! Oh shit!
Oh, wow.
No,
No,
Yeah.
weed. Yeah, that's
it
true.
ain't for
right?
me.
It ain't wow.
Super
So,
cool.
all right.
Okay.
But let me ask you this: how was the heroin epidemic?
I was never around it.
Really? I thought it would
over
be
the
more.
Nam, I was never around it.
And
Only pot.
pot, but there were people that were into
Yeah, yeah.
heroin, and you
Uh-huh.
could tell who was
Yeah.
strung out, who
You
was.
could see it.
Yeah.
You
the
could
ones
see
that
it.
were strung out, they were kind of wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because it was so easy to get
Yeah,
and consume out
and-
there.
And half of them didn't come home, because they were put in the hospital.
Oh,
They were
wow.
'Cause
in
of the
worse
abuse.
condition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you ever see friends go to the hospital because of the heroin use?
No.
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 You-
They were
You
only
didn't
in
hang out with
pot.
those.
yeah. So you were with the pot smokers, not the
Yeah.
heroin smokers. Everybody had their little cliques, right?
Yeah.
It was like, hey, opium band over here. Let's do
La
it.
clica.
Let's lean. La clica. That's cool, dude.
Wow, Joe.
So good, man.
You went through a lot
A lot of
stuff.
shit. So
Thank
you said they gave you a medal for that for babysitting that little girl?
Yeah, the Vietnamese gave me a medal.
For keeping
The
on.
Vietnamese gave you. Oh, that's fucking
Aw.
commendable,
Yeah.
man. You had me with that little girl story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Joe,
Oh, Joseph saw my medal of Purple
did?
Heart.
Oh, wow.
Joseph saw it. He never
You
told
gotta
me
protect
anything,
that.
man.
No.
Joe, let me tell you, Joseph.
Huh?
He never tells
El
me
Cholo?
anything about you. happens if, Joe never told me about you, man.
Yeah.
That's messed up. So let me ask you, what brings you out of that hill? Because you're lost, buddy. Once you decided, you know what, I'm a danger to society, I'm going to leave. What makes you come back?
My cousin got me down.
How did he? Putazos, okay?
No, he goes, it's time, forget it,
Yeah.
It's time to calm down. Your mom misses you.
You're
And
by
plus
yourself.
plus that you got a wife now.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, I don't know. If I'm going to be divorced by that time I go down there.
Yeah, but it's life, so it's okay. And then you ended up getting a divorce, and then you got remarried.
No, when I got up here, I got divorced up here.
Oh, okay.
Any señoritas follow you up there, bro?
No.
You were just literally just the hermit.
Yeah.
So you didn't go up there just to bang chicks and have a good
just
time.
to
No.
forget.
It was really just to forget, and you
Because,
felt like you were dangerous.
Drinking, getting drunk wouldn't make me forget.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Like
shit.
everybody
Yeah.
would say, get drunk.
Mm-hmm.
It'll
Don't
work.
make you forget. Nah.
Didn't work.
Didn't work.
Oh. And
So-
like my, the one that I was seeing, like a psychiatrist, whatever, Marine Corps psychiatrist, told me it's like a tape recorder.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like when in August, and it hits about my best friend,
Mm-hmm.
and my wife knows that I'm real quiet when it hits. I don't want to go no place for the
It's
whole
that
month. I would just want to be
By
left
yourself.
alone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Wow.
very vivid in your mind.
yeah,
I could
because
imagine.
he got killed on August the 18th, and I stepped out the snare August the 20th.
Oh, it was literally days.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Literally days. So during that
And at the time, I didn't
trip.
care. I didn't care. I lost my best friend.
Yeah.
No, of course
He
you
was
cared.
one.
You just couldn't. You couldn't know how. You didn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. You cared. It's just emotionally, you just couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
And it's okay. I mean, we're human. You understand? We're all human. You're gonna have a feeling. If you don't have those feelings, you're not human. You understand? So, I understand why you had to check them there. But
Yeah.
now you can talk about it. You can know that it's cool.
It's still very vivid.
So you come back. Now you're off the hill. What do you do?
I started looking for a job.
That's a smart move to do.
Yeah, for the newspaper in
For the
El
newspaper?
Paso.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I was telling you at the
At the Chuck E. Cheese.
just
At the Chuck E. Cheese.
Because that's where we met, at the Chuck E. Cheese. So
inserting advertisement
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the newspaper.
And
So
the advertisement.
that's how I started. And then after that, I went to the VA and I said I'd like to get a job or can you
Training.
train me for something else. He goes, yeah, there's sign painting. I go, I'll take that. It's drawing.
Yeah.
I'll take that because I love to draw. I used to
okay.
love to draw a lot.
All right. So this was perfect.
So I started sign painting. So then after that,
Then
Like
Neon came in and messed up your business. Huh? Ah,
Dang
shit.
Neon.
Fucking Neon. You fucker.
yeah,
So you're a sign painter now.
yeah.
So VA helps you. They pay
yeah,
for the school.
yeah.
Okay.
for
So
school
now
and
you're
everything.
painting signs, right?
Uh-huh.
Everything's good. Life is good.
Yeah.
How many kids are we popping out now, Joe?
No.
How many kids are we popping out?
How many do you have?
Life is good. Life is
How
good. So
many
you're.
kids?
Well, with Anna was the first one. Was my first wife. My second wife was Elena and Isabel.
Elena and Isabel.
Mm-hmm.
Those. Oh, you had 3 wives.
No,
Two wives,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But your second wife is the one you had, Elena and Isabel.
Uh-huh.
Yes, she had 3.
Okay.
So
So
3
you had-
girls.
3 girls.
You had 3 girls.
Uh-huh.
So tuviste 3 niñas
and Elena and Isabel.
with your second wife.
Aw.
Well,
And-
my second wife is Elena and Isabel,
With his second wife, he had Elena and Isabel.
and my first wife was Anna.
Oh, okay.
So he had
okay.
3 daughters.
So you had 3 daughters. That's right. And you're a sign painter now, right?
Mhm.
When do you make the transition from sign painter to the school district? Or what happens?
Oh no, I came here to California, and that's when I was seeing somebody else, and she found out. So
Woo!
we got a divorce.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, Joe. Joe.
How long ago was this?
You're a lovebird, Joe. He's a lover.
Hey,
He's
he
a
told you
lover.
from the beginning he likes women.
Yeah, he does like women.
He
did say
warned
it.
you.
Yeah, he did warn me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe, so
I got caught. So
how did you get caught so other men know not to do this?
So by I came over here and I had a kind of a fling over there. A friend.
Where did you have the friend? You
Huh?
lived in El Paso, but you had a friend out here.
No. She came to California with her mom.
Uh-huh.
We had gotten mad.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to see her or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so she told me that she wanted to see me. I said, it's okay. I packed up everything. I told the other girl, hey, I'm leaving. I'm going to California. I got to go,
Be with my family.
Yeah, I'll be with my wife. And then all of a sudden she goes, so bye-bye. So we said bye, and I came back over here, and I told her, well, you left me because, then you left me, and then to tell me that you're pregnant. He goes, did I get you pregnant?
Uh-huh.
And she goes, yes. I go, how you know? Because you were there.
Because you were there. You were the only one. I mean, I think I know how many people enter my body. And you were the only one.
and so that's when we got divorced.
Mm,
And then she went and told my first daughter that I was dead.
okay.
And finally my first daughter found out. She called my mom by accident. She called my mom.
Uh-huh.
My mom says, yeah, your dad lives in California. He goes, what do you mean lives in California?
So Anna didn't know you were in California.
Yeah.
Wow. So how old?
Because her mother told her I was dead.
Okay. So at what age does Anna reach out to you and say, hey, Pops, I'm here?
Oh, she was, I think, 10.
10 years old?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
But at least you got contact with her again and you...
Yeah.
All right. How's the relationship with that?
That's when I first, when I got here, I got divorced and I found out she was pregnant. And then I got married with my second wife here in California. And that's when, after Elena and Isabel were born, that's when I found out,
Oh, okay.
You had another daughter.
that I could see her.
Oh.
She called me, and my ex-wife called me. He goes, well, why don't you come and see your daughter? I go, why? You told me not to see her anymore. I'm not going to
Interfere with that?
Bother you, whatever. Hey.
Uh-huh.
He goes, and plus that, I haven't paid child support. If you want to get me for child support, fine, I'll go, I'll go. So I went to court. And the judge told me about the child support. I went like that to him. Okay, you can take me in, because I don't got no money. And she wants alimony because she was asking for alimony and child support. Go ahead, take me in.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pay my time in jail instead of because I cannot pay.
I don't have money. Yeah.
And
And
he
what
got
Plus you
upset. The judge got upset with me. Then don't get wise with me.
Ooh.
Because I go, he put me in parole for 3 years.
3 years in jail?
No, I'm not in jail, but like parole. I couldn't go into San Diego to go see her.
Oh, okay. So probation.
Probation. And so I started paying my child support and
And you got to see her.
yeah.
Let's see her.
How was that first time seeing her?
Your daughter.
I had to ask the judge if I could see her because I told the truth. I haven't seen my daughter since she was born. And my ex told her that I was dead, which I was not dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to know, if I got the right to see her. And he goes, yeah, you got the right to see her, but you got to take a policeman to your ex-wife's house and pick her up.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
that's the way we can do it.
And you did that.
You can bring her back.
Uh-huh.
While I was living here in Orange County. That's where I used to live.
Oh.
And
Es que dinero, mija.
in Anaheim, we used to live in Anaheim, and then take her back in the weekends. I could have her in the weekends, take her back that Sunday night back.
How did you feel the very first time you saw her?
Kind of funny.
Yeah? Did you get the butterflies or did you get like the...
Is it instant love, Joe?
Huh?
Did you feel love
Oh,
instantly?
yeah.
Right?
Aww.
Yeah.
Sangre llama
Because
sangre. Blood calls
She
for
got the same
blood.
face I am.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just
She
like
must-
you?
Yeah. So you feel it, that heartbeat, that you know that's your blood, you know. Yeah, you can't deny
Yeah, you
it.
can't
That's
deny
good.
that face.
How's your relationship with your daughter now?
Not real nice.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Good. That's good. That's good,
Communicate.
Joe. That's good.
Yeah, except for me and Max, who just don't talk.
And the other sisters, all the sisters talk. All three of them now. They're very close. Oh, that's nice.
Joe, can I ask you a question? We're running out of time, but I want to ask you more about what it was like in the 70s and 60s and all that stuff, and talk to you again, bring you as a guest again. Is that cool?
Sure.
Yeah? You don't mind us prying into your life and asking you questions?
Yeah.
So if you remember these stories, Joe, I'd love to talk to you more. Just because I think you give me a window into those time periods in life.
Yeah.
Where I can reflect and go, wow, it's coming from the horse's mouth. Like, no, that wasn't.
It's different when you're reading a book and then you're like, okay, it happened. But when you're actually talking to the person that was there,
exactly, things that really happen.
It's very, very.
It's very, very.
If you can feel it in the heart.
Joe, how old are you now?
We thank you very much for your service, Joe.
72.
72, Joe. Any regrets?
That's great.
No.
No regrets. Would you do it all over again?
Yeah.
The same way?
Yeah.
All over.
I want
and everything. Cecilia and all.
Lo bueno y lo malo.
I get butterflies with her name.
Well, Joe, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Aquí tienes tu casa. The Richard Villa Podcast. Thank you very much, Joe. Guys, that is it. Thank you very much for joining us for the Richard Villa Podcast. We're going to put this up pretty soon. And if you want to ask Joe some questions, please send them my way. Comment. And I'll get them ready. And we'll ask Joe the questions that the fans want to know about. Esto ha sido Richard Villa. This is Richard Villa's podcast. Thank you very much to my host that I didn't even introduce you, Mama.
It's okay. I'm so used
I'm
to it,
sorry. Oh, whatever. My co-host, mi estorbo del alma, Rocio.
Okay, you have to change that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we have to. I'll get something nice. And of course, the white boy that makes us legit.
Peek in August.
August is in there too.
Trying to peek you in.
Yeah, there you peek in. There you go. August is here too, helping us out. That makes us legit. We have a white boy. So
we have a white boy.
Thank you very much. That is it.